welcome back to a new episode Behind the Wealth. Today we have the honor to have Hayley, which is the social media coordinator with Silver and Young, and also she's a very young person, and she has a few questions to convey with me and ask about her generation's issues. Before we go ahead and along with that interview, I want to say the normal disclaimer that everything we say today, it is not a personal advice, it's a general advice. And if you have more questions, please call us on 9600-7760 or email us on pw@silveryoung.com.au. P as the private, W as the wealth, at silveryoung.com.au. So Hayley, welcome and thank you for accepting the invitation.
Of course, thank you so much for having me. So I am 19 and I am slowly starting to save and looking at my future, and I have some questions for you about how people my age and people younger than me even can start saving and getting ready for their future. So what are the main problems you see with clients who didn't manage their money well when they were young?
The common characteristic I would say that I see for clients when they're coming probably late 20s or early 30s and sometimes early 40s, it is a sense of guilt, that they missed a lot of good years of income, even on uni days, or even if they were apprentices on a trades. They missed these good years of they could save a lot because they lived with their parents and they did it. And then they go to a relationship or serious relationship and with the other better half, and they have a family, but still they miss the first years of, spending and breakfast and lunches and dinners and travel because they wanted to live a better life at that stage. And then suddenly they realize that, oops, we haven't done enough and we earn so much money or so little money, but we still could do better than what we did already. So there is a sense of urgency, there is a sense of guilt, especially for a better income families or individuals, and it's a sense of confusion because what we do now, I'm mid-30s and I haven't bought my house, or I'm mid-40s, or I'm early 40s, or I'm late 20s, and I have this ambition and this ambition and this ambition, and a little bit of confusion. But the right thing a lot of them they do is they ask the appropriate to get the appropriate advice where to go forward.
Yeah. So on with that, what can I be doing right now that's going to set me up for success in the future?
The first thing you probably, any younger person say as soon as you finish school or even before finishing school, is to get to the good habits. You see, when you are 20, 30 years old and you start thinking about your financial freedom and your financial well-being because you want to buy a house, get married, or whatever it is, everyone's goals, it's already you already have the bad habits or the good habits. That these habits always represent the path of the least resistance. If you have 5 coffees a day, any day you can cut the coffees and say, we have 1 coffee. Still the path resistance, when you're a bit stressed or you're a bit happy, you go to 5 coffees.
Yeah.
If you eat too much sugary food, still the path resistance of the least resistance is to go to eat too much sugary food after you finish your diet. So the same thing is, the best thing is, as a young person, is to develop these habits of savings, the habits of using the good circumstances around you. For example, a lot of young individuals, they finish school or they go 1 or 2 years at uni and they move out. Yeah, but if your family situation it is acceptable and happy, why you move out?
Yeah.
You save the rent, you save the travel, and I'm sure your mom and dad, they want you for another 2-3 years. They don't want to kick you out most of the time. So you take advantage of these personal circumstances. And the other thing is savings. For example, these savings can start from kindergarten, really.
Yeah.
It starts from with the Dolomite account with Commonwealth Bank, or every bank has a savings account for young children. And this habits of saving $5, $10 on Christmas, on Easter, on birthdays. You have $50 from a grandparent, or $100, or $10, and you save part of that. This is the habit, and this is then you build on that. Then the other simple issue when you get out of high school, for example, or you start working in McDonald's, is to save the 10% of your net income. So if you earn, say, $500 a week because you work on McDonald's, take this $50 and put it aside. And if you live with mom and dad, save 20%, save 30%. So, but at least have an automated saving schedule. And this is by compounding the habits. Compounding the $10 become 20, the 20 becomes 40, 50, 60. It becomes then a critical mass for you to do something.
And what should you be spending the money that you're not saving on? Like, how should you budget?
Yeah, that's a good question. Everyone is different, and everyone is, of course, an individual. And if you have a lot of support from mom and dad at home, the more you support, the less you can spend, because you can use the car.
Yeah.
You can use food, the fridge is always full, this, you don't need to buy anything.
Yeah.
So instead of going out to have, drinks and eat, maybe you eat first and go for drinks only and spend less. Anyway, this is too much detail, but what I'm trying to say is take advantage of your circumstances. But what will make you aware of that? The desire. And most people, they don't have that desire to do something because everything is good. You know, mom and dad supplies or whatever, and yeah, I work in McDonald's and I make not bad money for my age, and then I work in another job at uni and in a club or whatever, and I do this and I do that, and I make good money relatively to my free time, and it's the first time I have so much money on my hands, beyond the pocket money that mom and dad used to give me. So suddenly it's exciting. So it needs discipline, and the critical thing is to make everything automated and have the desire to achieve. For what example? Say, I'm going to put $50 every week. Every time I get a pay, say it's $500, I'm going to put $50 at least, or $100. It depends on the best circumstances. And then I wait for the first $500. And the first $500 I celebrate with, I don't know, with a meat pie.
Yep.
That's my celebration. I have a permission to have a meat pie or something I really desire.
Yeah.
Something not materially important, but is a celebration. Then when I get the $1,000, I celebrate by saying to my best friend, or to mom or dad, or to other half, you know, I saved the $1,000, and I did this way and that way. And you're going to say to someone who's supportive in these areas, not someone who said, don't worry, life is short, let us spend. No, you go to that person who has the similar attitude. And then the $1,000 become $5,000. And then when it becomes anything above $1,000, then you have to think what I'm going to do with that. You could put on a term deposit. You can start a small penny share or shares, small share with CBA, NAB, and buy one share. I mean, one instrument, say, any bank, any EFT. Ask someone who knows about this stuff, your accountant, your financial planner, your mom, your dad, your older brother, your older sister, who is better in this area. And there's another important part. Have conversation with people who love that subject, who they're happy to give you their experience and the knowledge for free.
Yeah.
You know, there is no secret. When we grow older, everyone loves to say what he knows because it doesn't really has value to hold it for himself or herself. Mm-hmm. So it's happy to tell you your father, your uncle, your cousin, your someone around you who is a bit older than you and started to be successful in this area, to tell you what he did wrong and what he did right. And And this conversation, it builds up your financial education. You open the scope, open the eyes, say, I should do this, I should do that. And whatever you do at the end of the day, when it is compounding, when it is automated, will produce results, will produce a tangible, material, important saving to do something else. And the other very, very important thing is if we don't really dream something, it will never come to fruition. So we need to dream. Yeah, I'm going to buy this car or this, and I'm going to do this and do that and do this. Otherwise, it will never come. So at the younger age, I think it is important to start with savings and start working.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, younger ages, young people, they don't want to work really, because they have uni.
Yeah,
But a lot of uni is only 20 hours a week.
exactly.
Some of them are 15 hours
Yeah.
a week. So, and you study another 15, so there is plenty of time. Plus, working, you learn a lot of stuff. You learn a lot of things. You meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
You interact. You grow your knowledge, your wisdom, your experience, which is going to help you in the future with the money you're saving.
Yeah. Should I be applying for a credit card in order to obtain a credit score, or is that really dangerous?
If you have a good habit already of savings, and say you are 2021, and I don't think it's a dangerous thing to apply for a credit card. The critical point of the credit card is to be paid off all the time inside the 30 days. So if you're already a good saver, you can apply for a credit card for $300, $500, whatever it is the minimum allow you, just to have an extra buffer. If one day your debit card doesn't work, you have the credit card. If you want to do a special gift to someone important and you don't have the money per se today, but you're going to have it tomorrow, maybe you can use it. But I have to say, it's not that important for you to take a credit record as per se, because when you apply for a loan, they will ask you for the bank statements. And when in the bank statements they see that Hayley gets $100 a week, and out of the 100 she saves 80, this is a better evidence and the best evidence for the person who approves the loan that yes, I want to lend money to this lady, to this girl, because she earns 100 and she saves 80.
Yeah.
So it's no brainer. So, but you could have a credit card and you still pay it off most of the times, but you earn 100 and you spend 100. It won't add value really to the assessor of that loan. So it is not necessary, and I think you need to be a bit disciplined. The person needs to be a bit disciplined on all other money aspects before they apply for credit card in young age. And also if they need it, if they buy a lot of things through, internet, but today you can buy with a debit card.
Yeah.
So it's not necessary.
Yeah.
The moral of the story is the younger you start saving, it will be better because you get a better habit. Surrounded with people and your friends that they love the subject of financial education and saving. And don't forget, today you're 19. There is no many years, and you're going to be 39 and 29 and 49 and 59.
Yeah.
And we have someone in our office who turned 48 in no time. She was 18 once.
She's gonna love you saying that.
So time is passing.
Yeah.
So take advantage of every moment and every second with a balance. I'm not saying not have a good life. I'm not saying deprive yourself, or a young person has to deprive everything to save for the future. But it has to be a balance, and it has to be a target where I want to head, and then I want to go ahead. And then you need to have this desire to achieve that. If you don't have this desire to achieve that, and you're just wobbling between here and there, well, one day I get a good job, one day I save, one day I do this, one day I do that, it will never happen. And the other thing I found is small celebration. So if I get $1,000, I get my meat pie. If I get $2,000, I get, I don't know, a drink and the meat pie. If I do, it sounds stingy, I know, but I mean, just make something.
Yeah.
It's just a celebration, and share the good news with people who respect that. I mean, there's nothing more enjoyable for any mom and dad, their daughter to come or the son and say, look, I saved this money.
Yeah.
I have for my car, but I won't buy this car. I'll wait because I want a better car.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to buy the better car, he said, a deposit in a house sounds better. Then it's easier. And then you can see the growth of that person is exponential. It's not just linear like this. It goes exponential when he's 30, 35.
Yeah.
And the reality is, the earlier we start, the more comfortable we are when we are in the early 30s, in the early 40s, and then on the 50s when we are thinking about retirement, most of the time. So early start, discipline, and take advice.
Yeah. Well, that's made me feel really comfortable about where I'm at the moment, so thank you.
That's okay. Thank you, Hayley, and for providing these questions. And till next time, have a good day.